my divine souls. Welcome to Spiritual Bloom, where we bloom within our consciousness, with your spiritual guide and twin flame coach Neha. In today's episode, we will be talking about why does Kundalini arise in a twin flame journey, and what is its spiritual purpose and importance in this journey. Now, have you ever wondered that why so many twin flames suddenly experience an intense spiritual awakening? Like you feel that your body starts vibrating, or you wake up in the middle of the night around 3 a.m., 2 a.m. So why do you feel heat moving through your spine, or pressure between your eyebrows, ringing sensations in your ears, vivid dreams, or overwhelming emotions that seem to come from nowhere? Now, many people assume that they are going crazy, whereas some think that something medically is wrong with them. Some become obsessed with supernatural experiences. But there is another perspective shared in many spiritual traditions. Some believe that these experiences may be connected to the awakening of Kundalini energy. So today we are going to understand why Kundalini may arise during the twin flame journey, what is its purpose, and why is it considered one of the most transformative aspects of this path. Now, this video is not meant to claim that every twin flame experiences Kundalini awakening or that every unusual sensation is spiritual. Similar symptoms sometimes can have medical or psychological causes, so persistent or concerning symptoms should always be evaluated by a qualified healthcare professional. Now, let's understand what is Kundalini. I'm sure that you guys must have heard about this term whenever you go through any kind of twin flame videos, and nowadays it's very common. Now, Kundalini is described in yogic tradition as a dormant spiritual energy resting at the base of the spine. It is often symbolized as a coiled serpent snake, not to portray something evil, but as a symbol of immense spiritual potential waiting to awaken. It means that the serpent is sleeping when it's not awakened. So this energy is believed to rise through the body's energy centers or chakras. Its purpose is not entertainment. It is not meant to give you psychic powers or shortcut to enlightenment. But its true purpose is transformation. When awakened responsibly, Kundalini is said to illuminate every area of your life that is out of alignment, because it brings hidden emotions to the surface, exposes fear, reveals attachments, dissolves illusions. In essence, it invites you to become your authentic self. Now, the twin flame journey connection is often described as more than a romantic relationship, right? It is a catalyst for profound personal and spiritual growth. When two souls recognize one another on a deep energetic level, many believe dormant aspects of consciousness begin to activate. Because your twin flame acts like a mirror. They reflect your love, fears, wounds, unhealed childhood, and your deepest potential. So this intense mirroring can trigger a period of accelerated healing, which some spiritual traditions associate with Kundalini activation. From this perspective, Kundalini awakens not because another person completes you, but because the connection prompts you to awaken to yourself. Now, many people mistakenly believe in the concept that Kundalini awakens so that the two twin flames can finally be together. But spiritual teachings suggest something deeper. Kundalini does not exist to create a romantic relationship. Its main purpose is to awaken consciousness. Its purpose is to unite you with your own higher self. So the reunion with another person, if it happens, is considered secondary to your inner transformation. So the focus shifts from chasing another person to becoming whole within yourself. Now, Kundalini arising is often described as bringing unresolved material to the surface. That's why the process feels extremely painful. Because the process includes healing childhood wounds, abandonment fears, rejection, years of shame, guilt, anger, grief, and your self-limiting beliefs. Now here, you are not being punished, but the Kundalini awakening is that you are being invited to heal. Think of it like cleaning a house that has been neglected and abandoned for years. The dust becomes visible before the space feels peaceful. Healing can feel uncomfortable because what has been hidden is finally being acknowledged, seen, and worked upon. Now, people in this journey report a wide variety of experiences, though they differ greatly from person to person. They have, shared their experiences as to how do they feel when the Kundalini finally awakens in their body. Some people, they have described it as a tingling sensation, heat or cool currents, emotional releases, increased intuition, having vivid dreams often, a stronger sense of compassion, feeling drawn towards meditation, prayer or nature. Other experience very few physical sensations at all. A genuine spiritual path is not measured by dramatic experiences. Transformation is reflected more clearly in qualities like patience, humility, emotional balance, and love. Now, one of the most challenging part in this twin flame journey is separation, as we all know. From a spiritual perspective, separation creates space for self-discovery. Without constant focus on another person, your attention returns to yourself. That's why I always keep on saying you that this journey is only about yourself. You start healing, you reconnect with your purpose, you strengthen your relationship with the divine. And many people find that this inner work becomes more important than the relationship itself, because that is the truth. Once you start doing inner work, you will come to know that inner work and building a connection with yourself and divine is more important than building a connection with your counterpart. Now let's understand that what is the importance of this Kundalini. Why does Kundalini awaken during this divine journey? It is said that it helps you to release old patterns. You begin letting go of your fear, resentment, and limiting beliefs. You heal your emotional wounds. Old pain no longer defines your identity. Instead, you become more resilient and compassionate. You discover your purpose. You feel inspired to create, teach, serve, or contribute to the world in a meaningful way. You deepen your spiritual awareness and you become more mindful of your thoughts, choices, and connection with the sacred. And most importantly, you cultivate inner peace. Rather than seeking fulfillment outside yourself, you develop a more stable sense of peace within. Now, many seekers in this journey unintentionally make some of the mistakes during this Kundalini awakening. Number one is that they become attached to spiritual experiences instead of focusing on personal growth. They start living on illusions instead of accepting the practical truth. Number two, they start believing that Kundalini makes someone spiritually superior. So be very careful, because humility is an essential part in this journey. Kundalini awaken does not make you superior. It is just a part and parcel of your journey to release your old wounds and to transform you. Third mistake is some people, they try to force Kundalini awakening through extreme practices, and this is very dangerous. When you don't have a coach or a mentor who guides you, you cannot force the awakening of Kundalini, because when you force the awakening of Kundalini, you have to go through extreme physical pain or extreme physical sickness. Be very careful and don't try to force Kundalini awakening, because it is a natural process and it will happen in its own divine timing and in its own flow. So don't try to force or try to awaken your Kundalini awakening. The fourth mistake is many people, they ignore physical or mental health. Spirituality and healthcare are not opposite. Both can play important roles in well-being. So while you are focusing on spirituality, make sure you don't ignore your health. Similarly, when you focus on your health, make sure that you don't ignore spirituality. Both has to have a good balance. Now, healthy ways to support the process so that your Kundalini awakens without much difficulty, because many people, they go through a lot of physical problems when the Kundalini awakens. So the easiest way and healthy way to support this spiritual growth is through meditation, grounding, prayer, gentle yoga or mindful movement, breath work, journaling, spending some time in nature, walking in grass, resting and having good nutrition, I mean to say mindful eating, emotional healing, therapy, act of kindness, service, contribution, donations, whatever you can do. Because the goal is not to chase extraordinary experiences. It is to become more present, compassionate and grounded. Now, I think many people will be thinking that, does every twin flame experience Kundalini awakening? Let me tell you that not every twin flame experiences Kundalini awakening. Not everyone who identifies themselves as a twin flame experience what they interpret as Kundalini awakening. Spiritual paths are deeply individual. Some people experience dramatic energetic shifts, whereas others grow quietly through reflection, service and everyday life. Neither path is more valid than the other, meaning each of your paths are different, but it does not make you superior than the other person. Just because you are going through a Kundalini awakening, that does not make you superior from the other person, because the other person might be going through more hardships in their life, even though they are not going through a Kundalini awakening, but their pain is similar to Kundalini awakening. So never think that you are superior than the other. This creates what? This creates spiritual ego. So when the aim is to destroy the ego and you bring spiritual ego, then there's no use of you doing your inner work and building relationship with divine and yourself. You have to be very mindful and humble in this journey. So if Kundalini is a part of your journey, or you have experienced it or are experiencing it right now, it is not here to impress you, it is here to transform you. It is not awakening you for another person. Remember that anything in this journey is not for the another person. It's not for the other person. It's only for you. It is awakening you to your own consciousness. Whether or not a physical reunion ever occurs, the deepest invitation of this journey is to cultivate love, wisdom, humility, and authenticity within yourself. As you continue healing, you naturally become more aligned with your purpose, your values, and your connection with the divine. The inner transformation is the true gift. So I hope you like this episode on Kundalini awakening in a twin flame journey. If you like this episode, do like, share, subscribe, and comment. For any kind of personal guidance, you can WhatsApp or email me. My contact details have been given in the description box and mentioned in the video. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again in another episode.